Hi there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to Love It, Thank It, Bring It. This is our weekly webinar series where we take on a different topic, living the I Have Today way, love it, thank it, bring it. And what we do is we take on a new topic each week. We talk about some of the issues and the challenges related around it. And then I give you 3 steps, 3 ways, 3 tips, 3 tools, techniques that you can implement into your life to create a better, more happy, fulfilling life in every area of your life, every day of your life. So our topic this week is called Mirror in Your Face. And I have a mirror here. It's really just a prop, and it's a metaphor for the way we live. And the reason we picked this topic is because we need to take a look at ourselves. And we don't realize how we are perceived by other people. So do you realize that other people don't see us the same way that we see ourselves? Or do you ever wonder what people think about you when you first appear, and even more importantly, what they say about you behind your back after you leave? So it's often been said that we never get a second chance to make a first impression, but that first impression doesn't have to be the impression that sticks with someone. So a little bit about me and who I am. I am the founder of I Have Today. I am an author. I am a speaker. I'm a certified coach, mentor, mastermind facilitator in fundamental NLP. And now I'm certified in human interaction technology as well. So I created this series based on the concept of my book and the company of I Have Today, and living the 3-step process of love it, thank it, bring it. And this series is based on some of the feedback that I've gotten from you on areas of your life where you feel like you need improvement. So what you're going to get today is you're going to get a greater sense of self-awareness, because one of the biggest problems and challenges in this world is lack of self-awareness. And when we don't have self-awareness, what that does is it affects our decision-making skills and our level of confidence. And when we have a lack in that area as well, it leaves an impression, it leaves an undefined impression with other people and it affects them in ways that we don't know about. And then from there, with that misalignment comes in friction and confusion in relationships. So there's less cohesiveness. So if we had more peaceful relationships in our lives, then we would have a higher level of conscious awareness and behavior, which would give us greater confidence, which would allow us to make better decisions in our lives, which would create better self-awareness and more confidence. So it all works together. So that's why we're picking this topic today. All right. So there are different levels of self-awareness. So one of them, for instance, is the egomaniac. So an egomaniac, their only concern is for themselves. They really don't have any regard for anybody else's feelings or opinions. Does that sound like anyone we know? No names. And so that person is on one end of the spectrum. Then on the other end of the spectrum is the person who is perhaps socially awkward, and they're shy. They don't have the skills to appear confident. They don't really know how to interact with people or in certain situations. So they come across as someone who you might consider them rude or disinterested, when meanwhile they have something else going on, which is fundamentally in lack of self-confidence. So, and then in between those two extremes is a full spectrum of other people with different characteristics. So where do you fit in that spectrum? So I want to ask you if you've ever seen a video recording of yourself. Have you ever looked at it and said, is that what I look like? And that what I sound like? And don't you see yourself so differently in your head than you do when you look at yourself? Or perhaps when you did that, you looked at it and you said, well, God, it looks like I fill in the blank here. I look mad, or I look angry, or I look sad, or it could be anything, but I wasn't feeling that at the time, right? Or I look so calm on the outside. Like I look so calm on the outside right now, but what's going on is I feel, I'm shaking like a leaf on the inside. If you've ever had to stand up and do a speech or public speaking or a webinar like this, or stand in front of a crowd where you always think you sound worse and look worse than you actually do. Well, that's because what we see inside of our heads is so different than what the rest of the world sees. So let me give you an example, and let me know if you can relate to this. I was at an event recently, and there was a woman there, and she seemed to me like she had a scowl on her face the whole time, like she was unhappy, and she really didn't want to be there and wasn't getting out of it what she wanted to get out of it. But when I finally had the opportunity to sit down with her and get to know her a little bit, as soon as she opened up her mouth, the person she was so different than the person I thought she was. And it wasn't that I was judging her, but I completely misread her based on her outer appearance. And what was going on with her on the inside is she was very shy and very insecure and had self-doubt and lack of self-confidence. And she was not feeling good about herself. She's a very, very sweet woman. And she was just trying to figure out where she fit into the whole thing. So her demeanor was very, very different on the outside than what was going on the inside. So I just want to know, is that something you can relate to? Because this happens all the time. And then we either get labeled or we label people one thing or another simply by that appearance. And it's very, very different from who they are. So we have to have a heightened awareness of this. So what does this mean, all of this, and why should we care? Well, the reason we should care is if we care about others' feelings, which I'm sure you do, we all do, then it's important to know how others see us, because perception is projection, and what it is we're seeing or feeling is what we're projecting out, and that matters. So, if you've ever known people, I personally have experienced this, and I know other people who have experienced this. They've had people disappear from their lives, and they don't know why. Something happened that they're unaware of. And if they had a higher level of self-awareness and self-confidence, they might be able to figure that out. But this is so painful when you have people that disappear from your life and you don't know why. You don't understand why. It could have been something you said or did that was completely innocent, but you just don't know. So we have to create an awareness around this. If there's a way for us to tap into this and have a greater sense of what others see and experience from us, then we have a much better chance of avoiding misunderstandings like this, right? So how do we do this? How do we create a heightened awareness of this? Well, here are 3 steps on how you can be seen the way you want to be seen versus the way somebody might be seeing you. You can take control of this. Okay. Number 1 way is to own your mistakes. We all screw up. We all make mistakes. What most of us don't do is we don't own it. Our egos get in the way. They're either too big or we're too afraid to appear weak and tell anybody that we're sorry. So that may seem like this is an unrelated topic to what we're talking about, but trust me, it is extremely appropriate, because by being able to be vulnerable instills trust in people, which allows people to open up more. And have you ever experienced this? I know I personally have in my families and in people that I know in their families, where family members don't get along. Something happens, somebody says something or somebody does something and it gets misunderstood, right? But it may not be what that person meant, but it doesn't matter what we say. It only matters how it was heard. And that's really important. I'm going to repeat that. It does not matter what we say. It only matters how it was heard. So if we're incapable of being vulnerable and apologizing for whatever it was we might have said or done, whether it was misunderstood or not, we can't break through that barrier. So what happens with family members. This happens a lot. You know, they don't let go of the grudge, and the grudge gets held on to, and this causes friction in the family, and families have broken up over these misunderstandings. And they're usually for something so silly and so stupid, and it's all ego-based. And if we had stronger self-esteem, stronger self-awareness, higher level of confidence, we'd be able to say, look, I'm sorry. I don't know what it did, and you mean the world to me. And I don't want this to come in between us. You do you, and I do me, and we live in this world together and respect one another equally and openly and honestly. How much smoother would our lives go? And this is critical and crucial in romantic relationships. Boy, does ego get in the way there. If we're unwilling to just be vulnerable and open up in a relationship, you can never get past barriers like this. And so many relationships break up because we don't own our mistakes, and we need to own them. And so if our self-esteem were stronger, we could avoid these situations 9 times out of 10, maybe even 10 times out of 10. And we need to understand that it takes a clear understanding of self and the ability to see this from someone else's perspective. Oh, hey, Morgan, thank you for that comment, right? We can relate to that. And feel free, if you're on here, to add your comments, any questions, anything that you have, both on the webinar and here on Facebook, okay? Because I can see your comments there. Okay, step number 2, this is good. Ask 5 people to describe 5 things about your character and your personality. And these are not things like, oh, you got nice hair, or you're a good driver. What I want you to do, because this is an awkward thing to do, I want you to tell them that you are working on a self-improvement project. And their honesty and candor are critical to the success of this project, okay? So here's the deal. When you get these 5 things back, you cannot, under any circumstances, get upset with them if they write down something that you don't like. That is the purpose of this. This is the point of it, silly. We want this. We want this honest feedback. You don't want fluff. You want to know. You're trying to get a sense of the way other people see you in ways that you cannot see yourself. So if you didn't do this exercise and you didn't illuminate this, how would you ever know? You wouldn't know. So it's such a gift to get that honest feedback and that candor. You know, I know personally for me, I've been told that, sometimes I seem like I'm born and raised in New York. So sometimes I come across really gruff, or I can seem intense, definitely, for sure. And it could be verbally, it could be in person, it could be in writing, it could be in text. And I certainly don't mean that, but I come across that way because I'm in my mind and I'm not aware of how I'm communicating. So I'm wondering, how does that show up for you? Are there times that you think you might be showing up in a way that is not at all the way that you want to be perceived and the way you want to put yourself out? It's not the way you see yourself. Remember, talk about looking in the mirror, and we're trying to view ourselves from a new appearance, okay? This is powerfully effective in your life, because what it's going to do is it's going to create, oh yes, Connie, I will repeat the question right now for everyone. Okay. So the question was, so what you're doing, well, I don't really know what the question is that you want me to ask, but the statement was you want to ask 5 people to describe 5 things about your character and personality. Okay, so character and personality, not 5 things they like about you or admire about you or respect about you. You're trying to get into your character and your personality. Okay, I hope that helps. And again, the reason that you're doing it, if you feel awkward doing it, is telling them that you're working on a self-improvement project and that their candor and honesty are critical to the success of it. So you could even say, don't worry about hurting my feelings. This will not hurt my feelings. What I'm trying to get is a clear understanding of the way I'm perceived. And what I'll do is I'm going to give you this. I can also send this to you in a PDF because I'll have my affirmation statements. So if you want this, you can either email me at dianeforster.com, and I will make sure to get this to you in writing. You can also go to my website at ihavetoday.com and go to visit my blog, because my blog will have all of this information in there as well. The blog, I think it's coming out tomorrow. We'll make sure that it does. So anyway, you can email me at Diane Forster. I'm happy to share all of this with you in writing, and or go to ihavetoday.com and visit my blog, and you can sign up for my blog there. Okay. All right. So that is step number 2. Okay. Step number 3 is to be present and don't make assumptions. It's kind of a twofold. There's 2 things in there, even though it's 1 step. Okay. Whatever situation you're in, whether you're in a one-on-one conversation with someone, you're in a group setting, you're at a family dinner or a family gathering, be present. I talk about this. This is the I Have Today way of living. Be present. Live intentionally in the present moment. Your life is right now. And the reason why you want to be present is when we're not, sometimes we get distracted, and that gives us the appearance that, we're not there, we don't care, and we're being misread. And so by being present, what you'll do is your eyes are going to be open, wide open, and light and bright, okay? You're going to be engaged. And what that's going to do is that's going to create this magnetic attractor to other people. They'll pick up on that. They'll pick up your energy and that vibration, and they'll want to be near you. They'll want to spend more time around you. And what that's going to do is attract people who are more like you to you, which is going to help you elevate your people filter. Okay. And it's going to bring in more people, the kind of people that you want to attract in your life, just by being more present. It's phenomenal the way this works. Okay. So that's one thing, one way to do that. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a greater level of self-confidence. And all of this, if you'll see what I'm doing here, is I'm stacking on self-confidence. I'm stacking on self-esteem. I'm stacking on self-awareness. And it's all in that being selfish in a really good way, which I talk about all the time. Greater level of confidence and self-awareness, like I said at the beginning, is one of the greatest problems. And when we have that, we're able to create a happier life. Just in every area. It's living more intentionally. Okay, so now the other piece of that is to not make assumptions. And what I want to do is, I want to quote the 4 Agreements. If you have not read this book, Don Miguel Ruiz, this book is phenomenal. So one of the 4 agreements is don't make assumptions. And what he says is that when we make assumptions, here I'm going to read it right out of the book where I wrote it down here. When we make assumptions, we believe they are the truth. An assumption is truth. Our minds are 10% conscious, 90% subconscious, and most of everything is in that that subconscious. Our conscious mind is able to take in anything from 5 to 9 thoughts at a time in any given second, in a split second. It's only able to carry that much. The subconscious mind, 2.5 million things every second. Imagine how much is stored there, okay? So when we make an assumption about someone, it's automatically assumed in the subconscious mind that it's truth, okay? So then we take them personally. We blame them, the other person, then we react by sending poison with our word, okay? And that, my friends, is how talking behind someone's back happens. It's extremely toxic. So we do not want to ever make an assumption about anybody else, okay? So those are the 3 steps. Again, it was own your mistakes, then ask 5 people to describe 5 things about your character and personality, and then be present and don't make assumptions. We live in a world where where people are judged so unfairly. We live in the world of haves and have-nots. You know, the rich and the poor, the weak and the strong, the young and the old, the smart and the stupid, the good and the bad, your religion versus my religion, and on and on and on. And if we would live where we judge less and accept more, people would feel so much more confident and less insecure. We would be so much more accepted and accepting, right? And if we did, how much greater a level of happiness would we have? Okay. We would smile more, which I talk about in the book. You know, I have today, find your passion, purpose, and smile. Finally, and we would carry ourselves in a much stronger, taller, more confident manner. And that would make it so much easier to read people. No judgment, less misunderstandings, greater level of communication and connection with people. And with that, we'd have a higher level of power, empowerment, clarity, and self-awareness. Okay. So I always give you 3 affirmation statements to carry on with our weekly topic, and here they are. So the love it statement is this: I am present and self-aware. I am present and self-aware. Okay. The thank it statement is I am grateful for my self-awareness. I am grateful for my self-awareness. And our bring it statement is I decide how I want to be seen and heard. I decide how I want to be seen and heard. Okay. And then this week's quote is by Paulo Coelho, who wrote The Alchemist, another amazing book. The best way to know who we are is often to find out how others see us. So that says it all, right? So what we want to do is we really want to take a look at ourselves from the inside out and from the outside in and create that higher level of awareness. Okay, so what I want to do is give you my offer this week, and it's on the screen right now. What I'm doing, here's what I'm doing. I created this 30-day boost program because so many people are stuck. Are you stuck in your life? Are you feeling frustrated? Do you have a lack of focus? That's just, your life is in a million directions. You don't know which way is up. You don't feel like you have a roadmap. You feel like you're on the road to nowhere. You're disorganized. You're lonely. You're in relationships that are not serving you. You're feeling frustrated in that area, in any area of your life that you're just feeling stuck. Like there's got to be more to this life. There's got to be, in your health, in your love relationships, in your parenting, in your relationships with your family, in your relationships with your boss, in your relationships with your friends, your mindset, your lack of clarity. This 30-day boost program, I promise you, is going to change your life. Your life will be better in 30 days. You are going to be happier. You are going to have greater clarity. You're going to have better self-awareness. You're just going to feel better. You're going to look better. You're going to behave better. You're going to act better. You're going to have more focus, and you're going to have, I'm going to promise you, a roadmap with from where you are to where you want to be. So imagine yourself right now, in this moment right now, hanging up off of this call, getting off of here, and making the commitment to yourself, this promise to yourself that your time is right now, because if not now, when? And if not you, then who? This is about you, that here you are making this commitment to yourself. So imagine your life 30 days from now, feeling better, looking better, having the roadmap and having the boost you need, because sometimes we just need a kick in the pants. I mean, we just do. You need that boost. That's where sometimes those challenges are so good, like my 30-day challenge, where you got this higher level of awareness. Your life was shifted. It was more inspired. This boost is going to get you there. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a weekly call with me. It's a weekly coaching one-on-one call with me for the next 4 weeks. And I'm going to give you exercises. I am going to give you personalized tools just for you, which my coaching clients know how powerful they are. People are calling me a magician. I am I am an expert at this. I am certified as all of the things I told you. And not only that, I practice what I preach and I live this. And this shows up in my life every single day. So I want that for you. I do all of this for you because none of us do this alone. And my mission in life is to help people. So let me help you. Make this commitment, click on the button, and let's get started right away. You do not want to wake up 30 days from now exactly where you are. You just don't, because then you're going to be kicking yourself that you didn't start today. Remember that your life is today. It's right now. You don't have a guarantee for tomorrow, and your past is behind you. We get to start right now, right here and today. So click on the link, get in. Bree will set you up. We'll get you scheduled right away. We'll start immediately, and you won't recognize yourself in 30 days. I can't wait to do this with you. So that said, that's our webinar for this week. So remember, mirror in your face, take a look at yourself and implement these practices. Please stay with me. Please follow me on social media. I have Today with Diane Forster on Facebook and YouTube. And then Diane, the number 4 and the word STIR on all other social media. I want to hear from you. Engage with me. Ask me questions. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to support you. It is my mission in life to do this for you. And we don't do it alone. Again, we don't do it alone. I have 3 coaches. I have a mastermind group and I have 2 accountability partners. And I'm an expert in this field. None of us do this alone. So we need to work on our mindset and we need support. And I'm here to support you. So on that note, I think that's everything. I kind of fired through this, but understand that there are so many benefits to you looking at you from other people's perspective. Let's get out of our heads and get into looking at things from an aerial perspective on the way we want to be. It's going to make you much more magnetic to the kind of people that you want. And these strategies will really help you boost your confidence and your self-awareness. So that's it for this week. Leave me comments, follow me. I'm here for you, and get that boost program so that in 30 days, your life is unrecognizable. So I'm here for you. I love you. Bye. Take care.